My name is Victor. It's my wife, Daniella. We're from Brazil. We came up with our story basically is we got married in 2021, and we knew before we got married that we were not able to have biological kids, and we decided to do some research and see the options that we had. She has a friend back home who did a surrogacy program in the US, and also her sister had a friend who did a surrogacy program here in Ukraine. So we spoke with both of them before. We had some questions asked about how's the journey and everything. And before our marriage, we were pretty comfortable that that's the way that we're gonna move forward. About like 3 or 4 months before we got married, we spoke with some agencies here in Ukraine and in the US, and we asked them about some legal questions. So how, of course, because of ask about the price, and ask about how it is, what we have to do, because since we're in Brazil and the program is in Ukraine or would be in the US, what we have to do, if you have to go there, stay there. So we pretty much had all the answers that we needed, and we decided to move forward with an agency here in Ukraine. So as I said, we had a friend who was in a program here at the World Center of Baby, and we had a meeting with her. She explained everything about the agency and how it works. We felt pretty comfortable with what she said, but we also talked with 2 other agents, another agency here in Ukraine. We didn't feel very well and comfortable to move forward with the other agents. Some of them were more like business directions, and we felt like World Center of Baby was more like a parent to us, more like a friendly environment, pretty much. So we scheduled a meeting with the World Center. Our first meeting was with a person, and we had a meeting for like an hour or something, and then she explained everything that we already knew because we spoke with this other friend, and she explained to us everything, and basically matched everything that our friend said and she said, pretty much matched. And we felt very comfortable with these agents because, as I said, it was more like a friendly environment and not just like a business company. So that's the main. That's why we chose World Set and not the other agency in Ukraine. We started the program in November 2021. Now we are in January 2025. So we have a lot of experience with the medical issues that we had. Was not regarding the agents, but because more like regarding our regarding about us and our journey. We had some challenging moments at the beginning. Also, like in 3 or 4 months after we signed the contract and we were here in Kyiv, 3 or 4 months after that, it started the war here in Ukraine. So we had another challenging moment. By that time, we are looking for the surrogate mother, and Zena. We were looking for someone. We had a match, and then the pregnancy didn't follow. And after, I don't know, a few months, we had another option, like another surrogate mother, and it didn't go through. The third time, we were the third month, and we had the news that the heartbeat beating of the child were not beating anymore. So we had, as I said, we had a lot of experience with the medical side. All the questions that we had, all the concerns that we had, the agents responded to us immediately, right after we had some questions. Right away they answered and gave all the information. They didn't hide anything. They always told us the truth. And if you had any questions, any concern about the medical side, because we talk with doctors in Brazil and then how the doctors in Ukraine work, but this kind of issue didn't have, because pretty much match all the procedures in Brazil and procedures here in Ukraine. So we didn't have any problems with the medical side. I guess some intended parents might think about how is the health system in Ukraine, but it works very fine, just like anywhere in the world. We had some problems later on during this last pregnancy, and we can talk about that later on and develop more about the medical side. Yes, we did. After the third month, that we had confidence that the pregnancy was developing, Daniella talked to her on Instagram, found the surrogate mother, and started talking to her on Instagram. Of course, the language barrier was a challenge. So the surrogate mother was speaking Ukrainian, we were speaking Portuguese, and we used the Google Translator, but it worked very well. She was in touch with her pretty much like day in, then out, and asking about the babies, asking about her family. And so it was like, we talked after the babies were born, that the surrogate mother was like an angel for us, because we couldn't find anyone more suitable and more friendly, more someone who cares about our baby. And this surrogate mother was like an angel for us. Yes, we received a report all the time. We spoke with some friends in Brazil, because how is the pregnancy journey in Brazil, and then here in Ukraine is the follow-ups more often than in Brazil. Like our surrogate mother, she was at the doctor pretty much like every 2 or 3 weeks. And she had an appointment with the doctor or at the clinic, and every day after the appointment, like 5 or 6 hours after the appointment, we received the report translated to English, and that report says everything about her and the babies. And if you had any questions about the report itself, we just asked our coordinator, and she explained it to us, and if she didn't know what it says, she would talk with the doctor, and the doctor explained it to us. And so it was pretty much everything clarified to us. We didn't have any problem. We felt like the surrogate mother was she had all the support that she needed to develop the pregnancy. Even if she had to go to another doctor, another clinic, she would go there. The agents would go with her, follow with the surrogate mother, and right away, like as I said, like 2 or 3 hours after that, we would receive a report with all the details about the consultant. As I said, before we decided to move forward with a surrogacy program, we did a lot of research. Daniella did a lot of research too. She talked with some parents who already had a child through this program. She spoke with some people who were not like friends or anything. She just found on Instagram or Facebook, or someone who was a relative to another friend from friend. And she asked all the questions to them. So we were pretty comfortable with this program. And also, as I said at the beginning, we had a friend who did the program here at World Center here in Ukraine. And a few questions that we had regarding the surrogacy here in Ukraine, she was able to answer to us. And then after that, we asked the World Center and to see if the answer would match, and pretty much matched everything. So we are very comfortable with that. We knew all the rules, all the laws, and how it works, all the stages in the program by right away. No, we didn't have any problems. I mean, we are now at the final stage, and we are just waiting for the birth certificate to get done. Hopefully, it will be done by tomorrow. And no, we didn't have any problem, because if you read the contract and if you see the folder of the agents, they explain everything. It's not the baby are born, and they're not just leave you here. There is a final stage in the program that they will support you and give you all the papers that you need, go to the agents that you need, go to the minister of something that you need here to get the certificate. And also they will help with the embassy, since they have intended parents from all over the world. They know, like, a Brazilian embassy works this way, American embassy works the other way. So they give you the support that you need to exit with successful. And as I said, we felt very comfortable about the agents, about the World Center. We're not just left behind after the babies were born, and that's the main thing that we have to say and speak to other intended parents that are looking for researching another agents. They pretty much stay with you since the first day that you sign the contract until the very last day that you just get the car and leave the country. They stay here in contact with you. And I mean, it's easy for me to say, but and it's hard for you to understand who are listening to the interview. But the one thing that we felt very comfortable was as I said, the friendly environment that they just gave to us. Like, it's not like a business entity. It's like a friend who is helping us have our dreams come true. And so that way, if you decide to go with the World Center, don't worry about that. It's fine. Yes, we spoke at the beginning. Our story was that at the first time we had the pregnancy and didn't develop, it was like a very tough moment for us, especially the second or the third time that we are already on the third month and the heart didn't stop beating. That was very tough for us. Only our parents knew about that, and we decided not to talk to anyone until I think month 6, 5 or 6, and when the pregnancy developed, we brought together all the friends and explained to them, and they are just like we feel like they were more engaged with us than any other friends who are pregnant, because the whole story and how it was, where it was, and how it started. They are very friendly. Of course, they're friendly, but they're very supportive with us. Every week they were asking, how are the babies? How are the babies? When are you guys gonna go there? And we came to Ukraine in December. They're still on the 7.5 month, but we decided to come here. And once we got here, all the time they asked us about the babies and how it's going, and very concerned about that. So it's a bit of strange for someone to speak out about that. And I feel like some parents might think that it's strange, or it's something like, oh, it's weird, or it's strange, or it's because it's not common to in the world. But once you speak out, speak out to your friends, families, or whoever you want to speak, or even your company, your job. They are very supportive, so you don't have to be afraid. You're gonna feel like they are more supported than what you thought. We chose Ukraine. As I said, we are between Ukraine and US to start the program. The main issue about the US was, of course, the price. It was like 2 or 3 times more expensive than Ukraine. On the other side, you had the positive sides of being American-born, passport and everything. But we also did the research, and being the surrogacy program here in Ukraine, it's more like common here in Ukraine. So the rules are more clarified here than any other in the world. We also, during the pregnancy, we were talking about Cyprus or Georgia, and then we did some research. Cyprus, maybe you have some problem with the Brazilian passport, or maybe the law is not clarified. But here in Ukraine, everything is so clear to us. It was so clear to us. The rule about the surrogate mother, the surrogate mother, they had the rule. They sign a contract, and after that, they just discharge the babies to you. So it was a combined between price and the rules here, who are more convenient and more clarified for a surrogacy program. And then the first part of the question, how you like Ukraine. It is our 3rd time in Ukraine. Of course, we came here in 2021 to sign the contract and do everything. Didn't have a war by that time, so it was a little different environment. We came again in this year, last year in February. We went to Lviv. We did. The agents had an office or someone there in Lviv to support us, to give to visit us at the clinic. And since Lviv is close to the border, it's like an hour from Poland, and it doesn't have a war. And then in December last year, we decided to come to Ukraine earlier than expected. The babies were still in the 7.5 months, but we decided to come here to follow the final stage of the pregnancy. And of course, it was challenging for us because of the war. Of course, it was very challenging for the parents and friends because they just read the news, and they don't understand how is life here during the war. But after like a month here, we pretty much feel like Ukrainians. Like we know what to do with a siren. We know what to do when go to the shelter. We know when it's too dangerous. We know when it's okay. And life is normal here. I spoke with some friends at the beginning. Life is normal, and just like COVID, when people had to adapt to COVID, use face mask, distance, and everything. Ukrainian people, they adapted to the war. Of course, they don't like that, but they have to adapt to live. They just cannot stop living, and they didn't stop living. Life goes on here, just like anywhere in the world. Just the difference that we have a war here, you have the air siren, that you have to get used to that. And at the same time, we know that there's a lot of soldiers fighting for the freedom of Ukraine in the border. We will always be very grateful for the country, the soldiers, and anyone who lives here. Because if it was not for Ukraine, we would not have the babies. So until the end of their lives, and then when they grow up, they're gonna understand what happened, the challenge that we suffered during the pregnancy, and how and where they were born, and in what circumstance, and we know that they will understand, and they will be very brave and proud to be born in Ukraine during a war. But yeah, just to make things short, be worried about come here during the war, but the government and the government, they do everything to keep the citizens and foreigners safe. So if you follow the rules, if you follow the siren, and if you follow pretty much a telegram says anything to you, you're gonna be fine. But if you don't follow that, if you just do whatever you want, then there's a dangers out there. But don't let the war, what happened nowadays here, don't let that affect your decision to come here. We didn't have an experience in other countries, but I feel like it was the best option. Even if you have to sign a contract right away, right now, I think we would sign a contract here in Ukraine instead of other countries. And we had this opportunity. The middle of the journey, I think in 2023, we had the opportunity to move to other countries inside the agents. So the agents, they have programs in other countries, and we had the opportunity to move to other countries. And we spoke to agents in America by that time, and in Georgia. We spoke with World Center of Baby, the office that they have in Cyprus. We spoke with them, but we decided to stay in Ukraine, and I think it was the best option for us. As I said, we would not change our minds. If we had to sign a contract right now, we would sign a contract to Ukraine. And I advise everyone who is listening to this interview, just go ahead and follow your dreams. If your dreams is to have a baby, it's gonna be in Ukraine, in your country, in Georgia, in America, anywhere. But I would recommend to do it here in Ukraine, because all the follow-ups that you have by the government, by the agents, by the people in Ukraine, it's incredible. You have like some pride people who are fighting, and I think like your babies will born with this pride. So that's the main option for you. Do it in Ukraine. So yeah, we traveled to Ukraine December the 2nd, I believe. We were in the 7.5 month. We decided to come early because we had some small health problems with the babies during the last stage of the program, the pregnancy. They were twins, so we had some health problems with the surrogacy mother. She had to go to the hospital. She had to do a small procedure to keep the babies inside her. Again, it's another point that gives me like a confidence that Ukraine is the right place to be, because she went to a hospital here. They did all the procedures, and she was on risk to have a baby in a 7 month. But the doctors were very successful with what they did, and she was discharged like 1 or 2 days after that. The babies were okay. The babies were growing, but we decided to come here to follow the last stage of the pregnancy, to go with her to the clinic to visit during her appointments. Also to see the ultrasounds and everything. So we decided to come earlier, and it was good because we were able to feel like this last stage and do things that we were not able to do since we are far away. So we decided to come earlier and stay with her, not stay with her, but go with her to the clinics and feel this last exams that she had. but yeah, and then we were able to go out with her and have a dinner, talk to her, and it was good to come here earlier. So we had this sense of like a family together, a dream come true, and we are here for like 45 days, I guess. As I said, we feel like Ukrainians now. We have some lows and ups. We had some bad highlights, if I have to say so, and I have some good highlights. To start with the bad highlights, that would be, of course, on our third pregnancy, when we were already on the third month, and the heart beating stopped. That was a very sad moment for us. That was a moment that we spoke and asked if that's the right thing to do. Should we continue or not? But that question, actually, that question didn't come from us. Came from some parents, some friends, and it was very obvious in our mind that, of course, we're gonna continue. That's one challenge. We had some few challenges before. Of course, the start of the war and everything. There was a big impact, but of course we decided to move forward. That was a very sad moment. But after that, during a twin pregnancy, you have some challenging moments too. So some of the highlights that I would say was that every time that we wake up, since we are like 5 hours behind the Ukrainian time, the report would come for us like at 6 in the morning, and 5:30, 6 in the morning, we're still sleeping. And some of the highlights would be when we wake up and open the email and read the report. Oh, everything's fine with the babies and the surrogate mother. Good. And then, so another month, wake up. Oh, okay, they're fine. They're growing. So that would be some good highlights that we had, moments that we wake up and read the report, and that was good. And I would say the happiest moment was when they were born. We are here at this hotel, and we received a WhatsApp message from Daria, and she just said, "Hey, babies were born, congratulations." So that was I think the happiest moment during the highlight, I guess.
Yeah, I think the main highlight is that we always believe that it would gonna happen. From the difficult and tough moments, we are always positive, and we knew that our child would come. So I think that was very, very important to keep until today.
First, you have to decide what company you want to go forward, and you have to talk to them, talk with some intended parents who already had successful with them. Then you're gonna scratch off like 80% of agents, and you're gonna come up with just a few, 1, 2, maybe 3, and talk to them, and then feel who is more friendly, I guess, because even though this is a business, it doesn't have to seem like a business. And as I said at the beginning, with the World Center of Baby, since the beginning, we're more like a family. We felt like a family for them, and we felt like they were family for us. So talk to them, do the interview, and see who you think it's more suitable to you, and then you're gonna decide who agents you move forward. After you decide the agents, some of them they have different branch in different countries, and World Center we decided to do in Ukraine, as I said before, because of the rules. We felt comfortable with the rules. We felt comfortable about the health system, and we felt comfortable with some friends who already had successful here. don't let the war affect your decision making. Don't let what other friends or someone else speak with you. That's a good point. You're gonna speak with some agents, they're gonna say bad things about other agents. That's a good point that we need to talk. And we didn't have anything like that when we spoke with Word Center. We spoke with other agents and they talked bad things and about the other agents. And with Word Center, we didn't have that. That's one point that we just scratched like 2 or 3 agents because of that. I mean, why are you talking bad things? This is our dream, and why are you talking bad things about something that would happen? I mean, you just have to. If you're not how do you say? If you're not successful, if you're not good enough, just don't say bad things about other things and about other agents, and then don't say lies. I mean, tell the truth. So that's very important to talk with them. Because if you talk with a few agents, you're gonna scratch off 90%. And then you're gonna come up with Word Center and maybe just one more. And this one more that we had spoke, we felt like they were like more business, and Word Center were more like a family. And I guess we are very, we made the right decisions, because here we are making a video like 3 years after we signed the contract, 3.5 years after we signed the contract. We are here, the babies were born, they are healthy. We have all the support from the agents, we had all the support from the government in Ukraine. And we just hope that whoever is watching this interview, they make the right decision, and hopefully they are successful, like they have success like we had. And even though if they don't have success, don't let it go. Persist. Go on. One day your dream is gonna come true, and you're gonna be seated in this chair, speaking with maybe Daria or maybe someone else, giving you a feedback about the program, about Ukraine, and helping other people making the right choice. So I think that's it. We are very grateful for, again, very, very grateful for Word Center. One thing that I have to say, I know it's a little longer, but before they were born, we had to make the last payment, and the finance team just sent the invoice to us. And one thing that pretty much caught my attention was that during the first month after the war began, we had to make a insurance deposit if the surrogate mother had to move to a different city or different country because of concern about the war. So we had to make a deposit, security deposit, let's say this way, just to make sure we have enough funds to move her to a safe place. And that's understandable. You want your babies to be safe if they have to move from a different place. And we made that security deposit, and it was like 2 years ago, 3 years, 2.5 years ago that we made this deposit. I didn't remember that nowadays. And when we received the final invoice for the final payment, it was deducted the amount that we paid. And that was very, that means a lot for me, and I mean for us, because it tells how serious the agents is, because they would probably just send you the invoice, forget about the insurance, you make the payment and go on, because you're in very happy moment. Your babies were born, you forget about what you did in the past, you forget about what you paid, you just want the baby to be born and healthy. And the agents didn't forget about that. They deducted the amount, and that means a lot. For me, that I'm a business owner, and I deal with sales and deal with clients all the time. And when you do this kind of gestures, I guess, this kind of move, for me as a business-oriented guy, that means a lot. That you got my confidence, and whoever is watching this interview, they would this kind of move that they did. I'm not surprised if the other agents would just forget and send you the invoice and you just pay. So that was one thing that it touched me a lot in December when I got the email and it was deducted that. I was not expecting, and they just deducted the insurance. They remembered that, and we paid the amount. And as I said, it's very touchy how serious they are, because you're gonna see a lot of agents here or throughout the world that's just one person, a guy, a girl, and that's it. Here not. You have an office, you have a team, you have a lot of people working, they have a serious company. And this move that you guys had, deducting the amount, means a lot. And whoever is watching this, they will understand what I'm talking, and that should be a decision making to once you decide, because at the end of the day, it is a business. This is a business, this is a company. They make a profit, and they're honest with you. They were honest with us. Since the day one until now, the final stage, they are very honest with us, and that's one thing that you need to pay attention before you decide who you're gonna choose.
I just want to thanks for everything. I think it was not an easy journey to here, but it's nature. I think everything would depends on birth center of baby was very fine, and it took a long time because of nature. It's a surrogacy program, but it depends on nature, and everything will happen when it has to happen. So I just want to thank you, and we are very, very happy to be here today with our girls. And that's it. Thanks Birth Center. Thanks Ukraine. We are very happy today.